Oh yeah, 5-star LSU. I said they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This is the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up, hey. Back and back it on up, hey. Back and back it on up, hey. Back and back it on up, hey.
TA Live.
What's up?
We are here. We are here. What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 36 of the Tigers Avenue. Super excited for tonight's show, especially for Memory Monday, because Memory Monday is just a lot of fun, isn't it, Bob? I mean, it's just a lot of fun. So y'all be sure to be thinking on that. Tonight's Memory Monday, by the way, most jaw-dropping moment, in your opinion, in your lifetime as an LSU Tiger in LSU sports. We are without Reagan tonight. Reagan was supposed to be here tonight, but apparently he's running sound for some, play or something, Bobby. I don't know. Maybe you can explain that to me.
Yeah, it's part of our class. He has to go up and do a play, has to run the sound system. I kind of lucked out in that class. I got to do props, so I have to go 2 or 3 times. He used to be there all week,
So we are without Reagan tonight, but that is okay. We are welcoming Bobby, our producer. If y'all did not know, we do have a producer. And if Blake's in here, I can probably rag on him a little bit. Like, we had a producer before Blake had a producer, at least recently. I know Blake's had a producer before, but, we had Bobby before Zach was with AOIS. So, maybe a little bit of a flex there.
Step up your game, Blake. Step it up.
I know. Nonetheless, though, we've got Bobby here with us tonight. He's going to share a few things of his opinions just on the spring game as we're quickly approaching the spring game. And he is also going to be sharing his opinion on Memory Monday. But first, we've got to get into just a little bit of a preview. I'm going to share my thoughts on the baseball team. I was not able to be on the show, the first segment, on Friday night or Saturday. It was Saturday. We went Saturday night. And so unable to share my kind of opinions. So I'm going to briefly share a little bit of my opinions on the baseball team. And then we're going to do a preview a little bit of the Missouri matchup of the Missouri series this upcoming weekend. As most of y'all should know by now, it is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night weekend series. I'm going to be at the Friday night game. And I got to be honest with y'all. I might have an extra ticket. So we might possibly be doing a TA giveaway. Maybe. And somebody can come to the game with your boy, Zach, and watch the Friday night LSU baseball game versus the Missouri Tigers. I'm going to be down there this weekend. I'm super excited about that and to be able to get to go to the baseball game, but I'm really excited about the spring game. And we'll get into that here in just a bit. But LSU baseball. So I want to share something really quickly on this past weekend. Bobby, Reagan mentioned it. He said, Zach was right. And I hated to be right on that. I made a tweet after the Mississippi State series, and I was like, hey, let's pump the brakes. This is awesome. This is exciting, but we are coming into a buzzsaw this next weekend. And I said that because Arkansas lost their series against Florida the weekend that LSU swept State. And so I knew coming into that weekend series, Arkansas was going to be hungry. They were going to want to win that series, not only sweep, but they were going to want to win that series. And it was at home. LSU was coming off a high in sweeping State. And so I don't know. I had that feeling like, ugh. And of course, we saw what happened whenever LSU played Auburn at home. They lost the series. But coming off the Florida series, we were like, okay, here we go. We're turning around. So we've seen kind of a roller coaster ride so far for this baseball team. And I got to be honest, Bobby, I think that's what we're going to kind of see this year, because not only is it happening with LSU, but it is happening in all of SEC baseball. Like, if you look around the conference, there are a lot of teams that are sitting around 500. I mean, Tennessee is the outlier. Tennessee is the team that is really just running away with the thing. And, they just about already have the SEC regular season title locked up because they are running away with it. Now, Bama did get one from them this past weekend, which was awesome, even though it was Bama. And I hated to see Bama do that. I hate for them to be
Bama to win anything. Oh.
Yeah, but, there's a lot of teams sitting around 500. And so, for LSU baseball to get swept, it hurt. But when you actually look around the conference, you're like, oh, okay, they're not that bad. I think they're sitting around third. I think they're tied for third in the SEC stands. Bobby, you check that for me. You're kind of our stat guru when it comes to that. But there's a lot of teams that are sitting around 9 and 8, 8 and 9 in the conference. And, if you are able to turn it around this weekend and you're able to, right? And so, I know this. Go ahead.
I'm showing fifth in the West is SC baseball standings. Right
fifth
now.
in the West. What about overall in the conference?
Let's see. I'll look for it. Keep going.
All right. So as Bobby checks for that, personally, I know this past weekend was a downer. It was. It sucked because for me, I didn't think they were going to win the series, but I was hoping they would come away with one. And if they come away with one, you're like, okay, I'm feeling okay about that because, like I said, LSU had a lot of things stacked against them going into that series. But if you win one, I think you come away happy. So coming into this weekend, you are playing a team that is not good. In fact, they are tied for dead last in the SEC for record. They're 5-10 on the season in the SEC conference. They're tied down there. I think it's with Kentucky and with Ole Miss, surprisingly, Bobby, a team that a lot of fans, a lot of, experts were picking, near the top of the SEC, and they are sitting at tied for dead last right now in the SEC conference with the Ole Miss Rebels, and Missouri's down there. So this is a series that you have to win. And I'm sure LSU fans, they want to see what this Tiger team could do with an inferior opponent at home because they've struggled in the past while they've been at home. It's been really strange, Bobby. They've won two of their the two series that they've won was on the road, right? And the three series they lost, two of those were at home, and of course they lost to Arkansas this past weekend. But they need to win this series. They need to. You have to win two. And for me, I want to see them sweep this series. Sweeping this series would go a very long way, not only just for this baseball team's confidence, for the morale, but it would go a really long way also for them in the standings, because you really need to be above 500 in the SEC, I think, somewhere above 500 in order to host a regional. I'm not talking about be a super, one of top 8 seeds and host a super regional, but if they want to host a regional in Baton Rouge, the first round of the NCAA tournament, they need to be somewhere above 500 in the SEC. And so I'm hoping that's where they can get. There's a lot of tough games, a lot of tough series ahead. You still got to go to Tuscaloosa. You still got to go to Nashville. You still got to host Ole Miss. So you've got Missouri this weekend. There's still a lot of games out there that are really tough, but they're games that are very much winnable. Ole Miss looks like a very winnable series now. You get them at home, and they're dead last. You're playing another team this weekend that's dead last in the SEC. Vanderbilt is sitting at below 500 right now in the league. You got to go to Nashville. That series looks more winnable now. The Bama series, that actually looks less winnable now. Whenever you're going into this season, that looked like a series that you pretty much had locked up, but they're playing really good baseball right now. And so that seems like more of a tough series. So LSU baseball, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Like, we know what the problems are. It seems like at this point, like, you're just going to have to accept what this LSU baseball team is. And Jay Johnson said itself. Reagan mentioned this on our last podcast. Like, they're going to stick with what they got. Now it's just a matter of, all right, how are we going to work with what we got? Let's figure out what we can do with this team. Okay. So, I have confidence in this team because, again, the pitchings look good. I mean, Bobby, they're top. I think they're 40th in the country, which is not bad. That's good. Like, out of almost 300 teams, you're 40th in the country in ERA. Like, you're having a really good season on the mound compared to what a lot of people thought they were going to get out of this pitching staff coming into the season. And they've performed and they have exceeded expectations. Obviously, we know the fielding has been what has been the biggest letdown. So this team, they have to figure out the formula for themselves, right? They have to figure out their identity. I still think they're trying to figure out their identity, right? I mean, they know they can hit the ball, but this past weekend they struggled. They struggled with offense. I mean, they scored 2 runs. I think it was 2 runs on Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby. And then they didn't get any runs at all on Friday night. I mean, that's unacceptable. With this lineup, they have got to score runs. And I've said this before on the podcast. I'm going to say it again. This team, knowing what it is and knowing the fielding issues, you're going to have to outscore opponents. And so that means you are going to have to hit the baseball. And you're going to have to hit the baseball in a timely manner. When you have guys on second and third, 2 outs, you've got to hit the baseball. And they've shown glimpses of that. Like, when we've seen when this team is really good offensively and they can smash the baseball. It's been really exciting. Let's get to some of these comments. Justin Broussard, Zach, we're going to have to meet up at the game Friday. Justin, bro, Justin, I have an extra ticket. I might be doing a TA giveaway if I'm not able to bring anybody with me. I'm still trying to figure that out because there might be some guys that are potentially coming with me, but I don't want to go down all the way to Baton Rouge by myself. I mean, who wants to go all the way down to Baton Rouge by themselves, right? I mean, I want to have fun. I want to have a blast. So we might be doing a 2A giveaway and seeing who potentially is going to the LSU Missouri baseball game with me. So anyways, let's get some other comments. Bo Landry, it seems like we fixed one problem and another one occurs. Bo Landry, I think it's more like you take 1 step forward and then you take 2 steps back, like, because they're having the same problems. Like, they're continually having fielding issues. They're continually having issues where they're not hitting the baseball in timely manner, where they're not getting clutch hits. But then you see other times where their fielding is great, or their hitting is clutch. I mean, y'all seen our tweets. We've tweeted out, in certain ball games where we said that's clutch. Like, that's kind of become a thing for me. Like, when something because that's been a big thing for me, a big criticism for me, I guess, on this baseball team is timely hitting. And whenever we've seen these players step up and hit the ball and make timely hits and have great at-bats in clutch situations, we've tweeted it out. Even with the pitching, we've been like, hey, that's clutch, Riley Cooper. Hey, that's clutch, Trey Morgan. That's clutch, Cade Doty. That's clutch, Dylan Cruz. And so I'm going to continue to do that. That's going to be a theme for me during these baseball games. And so just to recap all this weekend is very winnable. It is very winnable, Bobby. And this weekend, you have to win the series. You have to win the series. If you are expecting or if you want to host a regional when it comes to postseason play, this weekend is huge for you. You need to sweep or at least win 2 games this weekend. If you don't, it's bad. And you're going to start further separating yourselves from the top of the SEC, and you're going to further hurt yourself for hosting a regional when it comes to the postseason. So, Bobby, I know you're usually in the background, but anything on the baseball team? I know y'all are busy. You and Reagan, y'all are always busy. Y'all are at school. Y'all are hardworking guys. It seems like anytime I text y'all, it seems like I have all the free time in the world, although I have like 3 jobs. Like I'm always texting y'all like, hey, don't forget this, blowing your phones up about doing stuff with PA. And then y'all like, hey, we're doing like some homework, or Reagan tonight is running sound for some play or something.
He's being the greatest showman tonight. That's what I told him.
Yeah, there you go. So Bobby, what's been your take on this baseball team so far before we transition here to football?
I think my big thing is we know Scott doesn't miss. Scott Ward does not miss. And I'm really hoping that's true for Jay. I really want it to be true. And hearing that the rest of the SEC is kind of having this up and down season really gives me hope that Jay is just having like everybody else. And it's his first season at the Lsu Baseball and SEC baseball, and he's sitting at almost 500. That's not bad for his first season, coming off what Paul did. He's got a great class next year. Number one, it blew number 2 out of the water. It's not even close. So, I mean, we have a lot to look forward to. I think we kind of, in the back of our mind, expected we got some kinks to work out. It's a new coach, whole new staff, guys coming from different places. I mean, you got to figure those things out. Now,
yeah, sure.
There is no excuse for the simple mistakes that are being made on the field. I mean, these guys, they're around 20 years old. They've been playing baseball since they could walk. I mean, come on, guys. You gotta make the easy ground balls. You got to make the good throws. Yeah. It sounds like there's a lack of having fun and a lot of stress that doesn't need to happen. And a few weeks ago, maybe that's what was said. Maybe Jay came in and said, hey, let's just have some fun, play ball. And we won a few games.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening again.
Bobby, you used to play baseball. I never played baseball. I played basketball in high school and I played football in high school. But you actually played baseball. Like you played competitive not collegiate, but you played competitive baseball, organized baseball in grade school. So, from your eyes, what has been the problem with the fielding?
It honestly seems like we need to go back to fundamentals. And one of my last couple of years playing, that's what one of our coaches did. We went back to how to throw a baseball. And sometimes, you have to go back to those things because you want to make the diving catch and the quick slide and pick on the shortstop. But sometimes you gotta go back to dropping the door down, picking it up, making a good throw. It's all you gotta do. And we're not doing those things. We're not stretching it out at first. We're overthrowing somebody. Just go back to fundamental baseball. Make a good hit. Make a good throw. Make some good pitches. When you're pitching, let your defense work. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I don't have to disagree with you there, Bobby. And I think probably we've mentioned this before, but I think an emphasis on the offense has probably taken away a little bit of the focus on the defense and the fielding. And so, maybe that's just something that Jay Johnson has to tinker with and realize maybe I need to take a little bit off of focusing so much on the hitting. And I'm sure he has already realized that now. Let's get to some of these comments here, Bobby. Bring up that one by Tunishi. Yeah, where does LSU rank as far as baseball facilities in SEC? LSU seems to be slipping away into the middle of the pack. Ole Miss and A&M and Tennessee all are renovating. That's true, Tunichi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But LSU renovated not really long ago. I mean, Alex Box is not an old, super old baseball stadium. Like, I mean, yes, you have these new teams that are renovating and doing these new things, but it's kind of like a new iPhone, Bobby, right? Like you get an iPhone 10 and it's operating, it's great, it works fine, it stays charged the whole day, it does exactly what you need. But then that iPhone 13 comes out and you're like, man, I really want that iPhone 13. It's really shiny, it's got a new design to it, it's really pretty. Like, that's kind of my thought process on it, Tanichi. Like, Alex Box is fine right now. It's not out of date. I've been to their stadium. Yeah, like
so it's not old.
It wasn't long ago. It's not old. Like, it was.
If we're gonna do anything, it needs to be the PMAC.
I mean, we've talked about that. So, like, to me, right now, I'm not worried about the facilities at Alex Box. Right now, I'm worried about Jay Johnson putting together a championship team, and I don't think it matters what the facilities look like. If you're winning ball games, they're going to come, and we know that LSU fans are always going to flood Alex Box Stadium, especially when they're playing well. Been in kind of an up and down season so far, but I'm sure they'll put it back together. All right, Bobby, let's get to some football. I'm excited about this, Bobby. We got a little bit of some sad news to deal with, and I'll kind of address that up front, and then we will get right into our spring preview, because we will not be doing a show on Friday night for all of our listeners. We are going to go live after the game on Saturday, after the spring game. As most of y'all know, I produce AYS, so I'm going to be doing that as well. I'm going to be in that show with Blake. I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing a post-game spring game show. So I will be in that. Ours will probably be later on in the day. I'll probably be driving back from Baton Rouge or something like that. I don't know. I might decide to hang around and chill out and hang out with the Balcony Bengals or whoever's in Baton Rouge at that time. We'll see. But we are going to be doing it on Saturday. So we're going to go ahead tonight and preview the spring game. But before we do that, Bobby, we did have some pretty important news this today. Corey Kiner announced that he is transferring from LSU, and not long after we found that out, we got word that he is transferring to Cincinnati. So it is clear that these wheels have already been in motion for Corey Kiner. Now, coming into the spring practice, it kind of shocked me a little bit to see that it was Corey Kiner that transferred, because he was a guy that really last year he got a lot of PT. He got a lot of playing time. I mean, they kind of relied on him a lot early, especially when TDP had not gotten going yet. Of course, TDP took over really after the Florida game. It was all TDP, right? But Corey Kiner got a lot of valuable playing time and was really their number 2 back this past fall. And so it kind of shocked me a little bit to see that Corey Kiner was the one to enter the transfer portal. I knew that once we got John Emery back healthy and he decided to come back, and I knew that once Noah Kane was on board and they were going to bring him into this running back room, I figured that we were going to see some sort of just somebody transferring. I didn't expect it to be Corey Kiner, though. To be honest, to be completely brutally honest, I thought you were probably going to see Trey Bradford re-enter the transfer portal. I know he was at LSU, then went to Oklahoma, then went back to LSU. But I thought maybe he would enter back into the transfer portal for a third time, or that it would be Armani Goodwin, because Armani Goodwin was a guy, he did get some playing time and he got some reps last season, but not near as much as Corey Kiner did, and not near as much, obviously, as TDP. And obviously, right now, we see that John Emery, he is being featured as RB1, it seems like, here in the spring. And so it was kind of shocking to me. But here's what he said. He said, I want to start off by saying that I really do appreciate the opportunity that I had to come to develop myself academically and athletically at LSU. I'm so grateful for all the friendships and bonds that have been created during my time here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thank you to all the staff members who I've encountered athletically and academically. You have helped me to take a step forward in my life. My time as a Tiger has come to an end. I would like to start a new chapter in my life and explore my options to continue my career as a student athlete elsewhere. he basically kind of already told you that he was going somewhere, right? Kind of that statement. With this being said, I would like to announce that I have placed my name in the NCAA transfer portal. And then obviously not long after that, it was announced that he was going to Cincinnati. So you hate to see it, but all best of luck to Corey Kiner in his career and his time at Cincinnati. We thank him for his time. I mean, who could forget the stiff arms and the spin moves and just the way that, he ran the football so aggressively. It was really, really, really awesome and encouraging to watch him run the football for LSU whenever he came. He kind of provided like a spark to LSU's offense when he came in, especially there early on in the season. In some mop-up duty and even in some moments where you just needed somebody to step up, he came in and provided a spark to LSU's offense. And a lot of people were vying for him to be RB1 at a certain point on in the season. But I think you're completely fine when it comes to running back. Like, you're still going to have Trey Bradford. You're still going to have John Emery, obviously. Noah Cain's going to be coming, once he finishes up with his schooling in Penn State. You obviously still have Josh Williams as a preferred walk-on. And you have Armani Goodwin, who's looked good. We mentioned it in the last podcast, but he broke off like a 65 to 70-yard touchdown run the other day. And so he's been looking really good. So moving on from the transfer portal news and all that with Noah Cain, I'm excited. I'm really pumped up, Bobby, about the spring game. And I want to get to some previewing this spring game, what I'm looking forward to, what I want to see, and we'll get your thoughts on it as well. But, Bobby, for me, this has been talked about a lot, but, the gist of it is that the spring game is a glorified practice. Like, it's a glorified practice. And I realize that there is going to be a lot that is not shown on the field when it comes to Saturday, because there's going to be some things that they don't want to, that they don't want to get put out there, for other teams to see. Obviously, we realize that. But one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to is, speaking of the running back room, I'm looking forward to seeing the running back room. Now, unfortunately, we may not see John Emery on Saturday because he's been dealing with the foot issue. I know Brian Kelly says they're expecting to see him back soon. But for me, don't risk it. Don't risk it. Keep him healthy. Let him rest up. He does not have to run out there in the spring game and re-agitate that injury. Like, I don't want to see that happen. So for me, sit him. Dude, I don't want to see John Emery in this spring game. I don't expect him to. I don't think they're going to put him in the spring game. But, keep him on the sideline. As much as I want to see him run the football, because I was really looking forward to that. It might be the biggest thing I was looking forward to before the injury. Like, just play it safe. So, but I am excited to see the running back room. Of course, Trey Bradford, Armani Goodwin, and Josh Williams are really going to be the kind of the three that you're going to see. But Armani Goodwin has really shined, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I'm really looking forward to seeing those dreadlocks flop in the wind, and break off a big run. That'd be awesome. Obviously, the wide receivers, I'm also really, really looking forward to that because, you've just got absolute studs there. You've got guys all over the field when it comes to wide receiver, right? You've got Chris Hilton. You've got Brian Thomas Jr. We know about Keishawn Boutte, but he's not going to be in there, obviously, because of the injury. You've got Jack Besh. You've got Malik Neighbors. You've got all those guys. Jeray Jenkins. Gosh, it's so easy to forget a name, and it's not because they're forgetful. It's just because there's so many guys there, and they're all really freaking good, right? And so I'm really excited to see what the wide receivers do because they're just so talented. Now, a group that I'm also really looking forward to seeing because there's some question marks there, and we have filled a lot of spots. Brian Kelly has hit the transfer portal. He's hit the recruiting front, and he's done a really awesome job at filling spots. But a position and a position group that I'm really interested in seeing just because even though we filled the spots, they still got to get on the field and play, and they still got to get on the field and perform, is DB. I want to see the cornerbacks perform, specifically the cornerback room. You're not going to have Jarrett Bernard-Converse, obviously, also because of an injury, but guys like Mekhi Garner, I want to see how he performs. The guys that have kind of been in the program for a while, like Radarius, right? Like Radar. Like I want to see how he does when he's out there. Jordan Tolles has moved down from safety to corner. How does he look in making that transition? So that's one of the biggest things for me is DBs. Obviously, probably the biggest thing that everybody wants to see is the Jaden Daniels and Miles Brennan competition, right? Because we've heard that both have looked really good, right? This day it's Jaden, this day it's Miles, this day it's Jaden, this day it's Miles. I don't care what it is. I'm ready to see it with my own eyes because I know there's a lot being released by the media, and I know that there's a lot being said about Miles Brennan. I want to lay my own 2 eyes on it and see how both of these quarterbacks perform. And that doesn't just go for Miles Brennan. It also goes for Jaden Daniels. I'm excited to see this quarterback competition and just the scheme, how they run the offense, what schemes they run on the offense and the defense. So I'm looking forward to it. Bobby, what are you looking forward to?
I think Alley Boy 507 kind of hit the nail on the head. As I'm looking for the O-line. Can we give the QB, whoever it is, some protection? And that was one of our biggest struggles this year. Not enough time. Also, getting the ball out of the pocket too was another thing. Quarterback obviously is one of the big ones. Who's gonna be QB1? You have Jaden Daniels, who came Arizona State, right? Or Arizona. I always get them mixed up. A-State. So how's he gonna perform in the SEC? I know this is just a spring game, but you're going to get SEC guys as well at LSU on both sides of the ball. How's he going to perform in the pressure of that? I think another big thing is the running back room, because you have John Emery who's back, and then you also have Noah Cain, who's supposed to be a really, really big guy. Didn't get to watch him a lot this year, but I've heard that he's very talented. So I'm wondering, I would love to see John Emery come in and get that starting job. I think he deserves it, and the way he was kind of screwed over last year really sucks. So I'd really like for him to get it. Same thing with Miles Brennan. I'm a homer because he's been with LSU for so long. I really like for him to be able to get the starting job, but I also like to see LSU win football games too. So the other thing is in our coaching staff, I really want to see consistency, because that was one thing last year is we had a run that was going. We were running the ball really good, and then all of a sudden we throw in a off the hand play, and it was like, okay, why did we not stick with the run? Obviously that was working for us. Another thing is unity with the guys. Do we have one team, one heartbeat? Because we heard behind the scenes that wasn't really going on. They had a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Hey, Zach, you're muted. I don't know if you know that or not. But are we going to have a one team, one heartbeat? Are we going to have, as cliche as it is, are we going to have guys out there having fun for the spring game? Or is it going to be, disunity? Because at the end of the day, if you're not unified, you're not going to get anything done. So that's kind of my things that I'm looking for. I still can't hear you there, Zach.
Are we good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
There's like 3 ways that you can mute your mic. So I got to make sure that every single one of them is unchecked, I guess I should say. But, I really liked what Allie Boy did say, O-line. I am really excited because there's been a lot of hype built around Will Campbell, Cam Wire, one of the guys that kind of wasn't expected to be a starter coming into the spring, but he has earned a starting role at the right tackle position. Miles Frazier. There was a lot of hype built around Miles Frazier when he came in from the transfer portal. Freshman All-American. Can he get the job done? Like you said, is this O-line going to be able to give the quarterback, whichever it is in the spring game, are they going to be able to give him time? Another position group, again, and we're about to take a break here soon, and then we'll get into our Memory Monday. So y'all be sure, stick around for Memory Monday. We're about to get to our most jaw-dropping moments in LSU sports history. Excuse me, y'all. But the defensive line, looks great, Bobby. You've got Jacoby and Guillory. You've got Mason Smith. You've got Ali Gay. And you've got B.J. Ojolari. And then you got a lot of the young guys. Quincy Wiggins has really impressed me this spring. I mean, the dude looks massive, right? I mean, he looks like he's already been in the strength and conditioning program for like 3 years. But I'm really excited to see how this defensive line holds up, how they're able to if they're able to get pressure on the quarterback, because we've heard here recently that the offensive line has done a really good job against this defensive line front. And so are they going to be able to get home against this offensive line? We'll see. Bobby, let's take a quick
– I think it's another thing, too, was we saw a few guys, and me and Reagan talked about it because we watched the UCLA game together, was you saw a few guys like they do not look healthy to be out playing football. I mean, they look like they had not went through any kind of strength and conditioning. So that's another thing. Will these guys be, looking like SEC caliber players, be strong enough to go against other SEC guys?
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point there, because obviously with the whole turnover with the staff, like you've got a completely new strength and conditioning staff. Obviously, they've been working with these guys for a few months now. How are a lot of these guys going to look physically? Are they going to be physically in shape when they go live action in the spring game? Either way, however the spring game plays out, Bobby, I am pumped. I've never been to a spring game before, Bobby. I've been to some LSU games, obviously, but I've never been to a spring game. But obviously, starting TA, we want to get there. We want to get our 2 eyes on it. And I'm really excited to get to be there. Another reason I'm really excited is because we're going to get to see a lot of the people that we've been talking to here with TA, the connections that we've made, people that we've met online, on the Twitter spaces. I mean, I see a bunch of the people in here. Ryan Thibodeau, Nurse Court, of course, Justin Broussard is part of the TA team here. A lot of other guys in here, Bo and Al Landry, Danny Girl, I'm not sure who all is going to the spring game. I believe Nurse Court is. I know Al and Bo Landry are going, but I believe Carl's going. Carl Dunn's in here. I'm just really, really excited to get to go and to get to meet some of these people. It's going to be really cool. It's like we've been talking to them online, like just hearing their voices for months, and now I actually get to see their face, right? They've seen my face like on here on TA, but now we're going to actually get to like go and see them in person. And so that's going to be really cool. Really excited to meet up with some of our Twitter space LSU family, however you want to call it. But let's go ahead. Let's knock out a break, and then we will get to Memory Monday.
5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. 5-Star Hero. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law.
We are back for Memory Monday. I'm excited. I am excited for this Memory Monday. Again, this Memory Monday was suggested to us. Ryan Thibodeau, don't have plans. Ryan, come to the spring game. There you go. Nurse Court saying it right there to you. Come to the spring game. I hope everybody's there. Al Landry, can't wait to see the LSU fam. I'm excited, Al. I think Al might be doing like a tailgate or something like that, and I am definitely coming if there's a tailgate. There we go. I was waiting for a hashtag lame excuse. The hashtag lame excuse is for Reagan. So y'all hashtag Reagan lame excuse. You have to watch your kid.
Hey,
Bring your kid.
We have a church event too, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and get to it, guys. The most jaw-dropping moment for you, in your opinion, in your LSU lifetime, what was a play, a moment? It doesn't even have to be a play. It could just be whatever your heart so desires. What was a moment in your recent memory, in your lifetime, where you were just like, where your jaw hit the floor, and you were like, oh My gosh, I cannot believe that just happened. Holy cow. So, Bobby, I'll go ahead and I'll let you start. You lead us off here with your most jaw-dropping moment for LSU sports.
Let me think. I'm trying to make sure I have the year right. Yes. 2018 versus Auburn. The kick that won the game, I think that was probably one of my favorites. I remember sitting
Cole Tracy
at y'all's old house, and
250 Plum Point Avenue.
Yeah, the TV can't update fast enough, so me and you were sitting in the back scrolling ESPN up to make sure we won the game. We got it, and we knew it was going in. And I just couldn't help but to celebrate. I think another one for me. I don't know why it was so special, but last year against Texas A&M, I love beating Texas A&M ever since 2018. And I thought we were going to lose Texas A&M last year. And then Jere Jenkins just stretches it out. Oh, I love that. I love it.
In the all whites.
Oh, it looked so good.
It was really clean.
Obviously, because I can't just have one. I think
there's multiple.
Yeah, LSU versus Texas in 2019, the whole game was jaw dropping, but the drive right before halftime was the one that I was like, man, Joe is the guy. I mean, he looked
this man's the goat.
He looked just like Tom Brady. That he had a minute, if that, to go down the field and score a touchdown. Yeah. Perfectly laid the ball. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Was that the one where he kind of threw it high to Justin Jefferson? Yeah. And Justin Jefferson went way up there and got it.
He turned on it, caught it, and I was like, man, that's Tom Brady out there. That's Tom Brady.
He's the GOAT. He is the LSU GOAT. Those are good ones. So, again, there can't be one moment. There's got to be multiple moments. I didn't mention this one, but I'll go baseball since it is baseball season right now. I mentioned this as most favorite play of all time in baseball, but it also was the most jaw-dropping. And it was when Todd Peterson hit a double off the wall. Holy cow. A pitcher just came in. And he just smashed the ball. He's like, you're going to give me fastballs? All right. Smash. Almost put it over the wall. I mean, I was fully expecting him to get struck out in 3 pitches. And they give him one right down the middle, and he smashes it. I was like, holy cow. But for me, I think my number one, there's obviously a lot in 2019 that you can mention. I will mention these quickly. In 2019, oh my goodness, Reagan. Look at Reagan. Reagan is in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Reagan. I hope you're having a wonderful time, moving buttons and sliding sliders and all that good, twizzling some knobs. Hope you're having fun. Reagan, get over here. Yes. Get over here. Give us your opinion, your most jaw-dropping moment. Maybe he'll give it to us in the comments. His most jaw-dropping moment. A couple of them in the 2019 season. You had the play where Joe Burrow is scrambling all the way around, and he gets the ball to Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson just about houses it. I think he got took down inside the 10, maybe. But, Joe Burrow scrambling around. And then you also have the one that's against Oklahoma where he was scrambling around, jukes the guy backwards, scrambles over to the sideline, chunks it up. Terrace Marshall had gotten pushed out of bounds. He positioned himself back in bounds, goes up, makes the catch. Awesome. Those are some jaw-dropping moments. He had already locked up the Heisman.
Yeah.
But it was like, holy cow.
We tend to forget Thaddeus Moss's.
Oh my gosh. How could we forget that?
Oh man. Yeah.
Is Reagan in the building?
Reagan's made it in, but of course he's skiddly-doo. I love LSU. I'm Bobby Watts.
Yeah, dude, Bobby, that I forgot about that. Honestly, did forget about that. In the Bama game, a crucial moment, he toe taps, and then right after that, Clyde Edwards-Helaire hurdles the entire line and jumps into the end zone, which is awesome. And then he spiked the ball. Remember, he spiked the ball, and the rest were just kind of watching, didn't call anything. That's a 15-yard penalty in college football. And I think they were just like in utter shock that LSU was just beating the brakes off of Bama. Like they're beating the brakes off of them, and we're not going to do nothing about it.
We had heard all day from College Game Day, history's going to repeat itself. History's going to repeat itself, and it was just guns smoking came out. Man, it was a good game. I think Reagan's going to jump on here and give his memory Monday.
Awesome.
Like care.
Well, while we're waiting for him to hop on, I'll give my official jaw-dropping moment. I can't remember what year it was, but it was Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry in the Arkansas game. It might be the Arkansas game where Travin Durrell had the walk-off. Well, it might not have been the walk-off, but it was, no. They were at the 1 yard line and they drove all the way down the field. I can't remember what year that was, but it was the play where they threw the ball to Jarvis and both him and the DB were diving and they were like almost at the ground. And Jarvis goes underneath the DB, reaches around him and grabs the ball and like pins it to both of them and then takes the ball away. It was like a dive. 2013. There it is. Ryan Thibodeau. 2013, Zach. Thank you, Ryan Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best catches I've ever seen. I mean, I know we look at the Odell Beckham Jr. New York Giants catch and we're like, holy cow. But Jarvis literally, they were diving. Oh, you dummy. they were both diving on the ground, and Jarvis reaches up underneath the dude and gets and catches the football somehow. I don't know how he caught it, but it was amazing. All right, Reagan, you're back in the studio. You're done clicking buttons. You're done twizzling knobs. You're done sliding sliders. Hope that was fun. So give us your jaw-dropping moment.
Look here. If y'all want to check out an amazing play, the what is it called? Murder on Orient Express at the Williams Baptist University. Your boys run sound. So if you want to make the BR to Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, let's get it.
I told him you were being the greatest showman.
Yeah, great.
Hey, Murder on Orient Express is a good movie. Have you seen the movie?
Not bad. Yeah.
It's a good movie. And doesn't it have Johnny Depp in it? I think it's got Johnny Depp in it.
It might.
Maybe.
I mean, it's been a while.
Or Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. Maybe both of them.
But if you want to see a great play, come check us out, man. Really, I'm only doing it for a college credit. I'm not involved in theaters at all. It's just for a college hour credit. And I hardly have to do anything except for push buttons and move the slides, like Zach said. But jaw-dropping moment, Memory Monday. I think I have two. I have two of them. So Bobby referenced the toe tap from Thad Moss, but my jaw hit the floor the first touchdown of that game. When Jamar went up and made Diggs look like a complete fool, and it was an absolute dime pass. It was a dime from Joe Burrow, and we scored in Tuscaloosa like that. And he gets to run up to the crowd holding his arms out like, what's up now, Tuscaloosa? Freaking incredible. Absolutely incredible. The other was actually, I guess I have three. Leonard Fournette, when he threw the dude off his shoulders. Are you kidding me? That was the toughest run I've ever seen. That is the craziest run I have ever seen. Yes.
There you go, Ryan Thibodeau.
Are you kidding me? And the fact that their safety that week was like, oh, we're not worried about Leonard Fournette. We're not worried about Leonard Fournette. And then he freaking throws their player off their shoulders. And then you go back and watch the film, and the one who was saying, we're not worried about him. We're not worried about him. Didn't even make a tackle. He didn't make an effort. Oh, my gosh. It was incredible.
Carried him into the end zone.
Absolutely incredible. And my last one, come on. Tyrann Mathieu, strip sack for the touchdown against Kentucky. One of the most electric players in history.
you probably cannot talk about jaw-dropping moments without mentioning Tyrann Mathieu.
Hit the floor. I mean, those moments for me are some of those most epic moments where I think my jaw really did just be like, oh my gosh, that really just happened. And to get off of football, I can't believe none of y'all mentioned this. I can't believe none of y'all mentioned this in the comments or anything. Are you kidding me? The 360
from Alex Bregman in the grass
Yeah.
in the college World
Jaw-dropping.
Series? Are you kidding me? That is the
Jaw-dropping.
greatest. And you know what? You're gonna get me on a rant now.
Uh-oh.
I've already mentioned this one before. Jared Foster against Texas A&M. That is the greatest catch in the outfield I have ever seen.
Jaw-dropping.
With the game on the line like that, with the game on the line the way it was, I mean, it was 2 outs, like bases loaded, tie game in the bottom of the ninth in Bluebell. And that dude goes and lays out like I had never seen before. It was absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, I could keep talking about it all on. But maybe you need to throw some of these other guys up.
We will. Let's throw some comments up. Go through some of these jaw-dropping moments, and then Reagan, let's get your take on what you're looking forward to seeing in the spring game. Okay. Let's just go from the first one down.
Go back to that one with Al.
Okay. We'll come back. We'll come back.
Bro, one of the
Ole Miss and
they
Auburn.
interviewed, I think it was Marty Smith from SEC. He asked Leonard Fournette about that run against Ole Miss. He said, "What are you thinking in your mind? What are you thinking in your mind when you're trucking down the field and you see this little gnat try to tackle you?" That's so funny. That cracked me up. That was an awesome moment too, for sure.
Yeah, I think Bobby's mentioned that one. He was like, is that dude still in the turf? Or are they still trying to get that dude out of the turf? He mentioned that
out of the turf
on the past podcast.
Nurse Court here. Notre Dame Sugar Bowl game was good time too. Haha, except for Saban crap show earlier that same day. Yeah. What else we got here?
There's a lot of good ones in here.
This is big time for us right here. Is that?
Yeah, I
big
mean,
time for us right here.
Of course. 2007 BCS game. LSU versus Ohio State and NOLA, no tears, but a good time.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, because again, first year watching LSU football and you get to see them win the whole thing again. We've mentioned that before, but it really did one of those solidifying moments for us in becoming LSU fans. Justin Broussard, I saw that. I thought about this.
Yes, sir.
Eric Reed interception at the goal line against Bama. You thought the game was over at that point because that was the game where everyone was kicking field goals. Nobody could get into the end zone. And they have that play. You think they're going to have an easy – I mean, they're going to be at the 1 yard line, Reagan. They're going to be at the 1 yard line, and all they got to do is punch it in. And Eric Reed goes up and takes the ball away. Takes the ball away from him.
Was it O.J. Howard? Was that the tight end?
It wasn't O.J. Howard. I can't remember who it was. It was like Williams or something like that. I can't remember. Somebody probably knows. Let's see. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Reagan.
No, you're good.
3rd and 17 with the pageant wave. Yeah, I mean you can't not mention that. You can't not mention that. To tell you the truth, there were so many games we literally almost lost under Miles. I can't remember all those OMG moments, Miles, but I'm old as heck too.
Jeez,
the Ole Miss game that you lost, but the Hail Mary to Terrence Tolliver that got you down to the 1. Awesome play. Jaw dropping. I mentioned this the other day, Justin, and I think we were doing most. Huh?
I thought that was on a punt. It was on a punt return.
Yeah, that was a punt. That was a punt return, Justin. It was, but nonetheless, amazing play. Amazing. That's one of my moments where I was like, okay, yeah, they're really good.
It was with Tyrann Mathieu. It felt like everything went his way.
It did.
Everything
because he get what he wants. He get what he wants.
Right. I mean, it just felt like everything fell for him. Like one of the lucky. I feel like he's an incredible player, but also one of the luckiest players of all time. How do you get so lucky? In that moment against Oregon, when you when you strip the ball out like that and just punch it out, and you turn around and it just bounces in your hands. He didn't even have to reach down and pick it up.
He just turned around and oh, here's the ball. Let me grab it.
Yes. I mean, it's incredible. Incredible.
All right, Reagan, I think we've gone through most of these. Unless you have something else, I was going to go ahead and get your thoughts on the spring game.
I was going to say my beginning, the beginning for Tyron and Matthew and me, when I realized, like, dang, this kid came out of nowhere, was when we were playing the Cotton Bowl against A&M. Before the A&M was in the SEC, he made that diving interception.
And then he just took the ball, and then in that one play, he just took the ball from the receiver or tight. I can't remember which one it was. And and then you're like, oh, he's got the football. Like what? He can do that? He can just take the football away? Like, yeah, he can. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'll give you my spring take. What I want to see.
What are you most looking forward to, Reagan?
I mean, shoot, the quarterbacks. Come on, bro. I want to see how that plays out, man.
Me and Bobby mentioned
I want to see Jaden Daniels in action. Like, I mean, I've seen some of Miles. I mean, I want to see more of Miles, but I want to see how Jaden Daniels is. I mean, it's never the same in the spring game because, like, the pressure is not actually real.
Yeah.
But I want to see how he handles in-game situations. Also, I'm curious as to how this is going to work because, you know, Brian Kelly said this is not going to be like, I think isn't it purple versus white or gold versus purple normally or something like that. But I'm drawing a blank right now. But he said it's not going to be like that. It's going to be offense versus defense. So I'm curious as to how they're going to score the defensive points because he said defense is going to score according to like stops and turnovers. I'm like, how are you going to tally those points? Like, is it just
it's gonna be
like
interesting.
1 point? Like the offense gets a touchdown, 1 point. Like the defense got to stop, 1 point. Like I'm kind of curious as to how they're gonna do that. But I mean, yeah, I want to see Jade Daniels for sure. I think I agree with your point earlier that you made that do not play John Emery. Just don't. I think there's no reason to play him at all. I mean,
as much as you want to see him.
Why would you even risk that for a spring game? It's just not worth it because you want to have him in the fall playing on Saturdays, not in April at spring game. So I would say sit him. Another player that I want to see is Malik Neighbors. Like, dude, I every now and then I just stop and think about it, and I'm like, bro, we got like the best receiving core in the country.
Yeah.
And I don't think people even realize it. Like, we're talking so much about our receivers, about this, throughout this spring. And Kayshon Boutte is not even practicing.
Hey, you want to hear a hot take?
One of the best receivers in the country.
You want to hear a hot take?
Let me hear it.
Malik Neighbors might be your leading receiver next year.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised, bro.
Because SEC teams expect Kayshon Boutte.
Yes.
They expect Kayshon Boutte. They're going to double him. Like Jack Best, Malik Neighbors, Chris Hilton. I feel like one of those guys is going to end up being your leading receiver. And Kayshon's going to be Kayshon. Like, Kayshon's going to get his. I'm not saying that by any means. Like, I'm not saying he's going to have a bad season, but I don't know. There's a lot I like about Malik Neighbors.
Kayshon Boutte, Jeray Jenkins, Malik Neighbors, Jack Best, Chris Hilton Jr., and Brian Thomas Jr. Like, that's 6 guys. Like, all 6 of those guys could start in an SEC somewhere. Like, all 6 of them could. So, how are you going to handle all that? I mean, I can't wait to see it. I mean, the rotation of receivers we're going to have is going to be absolutely relentless. I would not be surprised if you had a year like you did. I mean, look, y'all, I'm not going to say 2019, but your receiving core could very well be like 2019. I'm not saying the wins will be there like 2019, the championship run will be there like 2019, but I think receiving core for the next 2 years, like, it could be very similar to what we have. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Terrace Marshall. I mean,
you're deeper.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Kayshon Boutte, Malik Neighbors, like that's it. That's your Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson right there. And then Jeray Jenkins could be like your Terrace Marshall. Brian Thomas Jr. could be your Terrace Marshall. And Besh could be your Terrace Marshall. Like there's so many of them that could do things. Like, you could have 4 that would all, like, it could be better. I mean, not maybe statistically, but I mean, like like you said, you're deeper. I mean, it's crazy. They're stacked. They are absolutely stacked at the receiving. Like we will not have problems with the receiving core for the next like 2-3 years. Like you will not have no problem.
Ryan Thibodeau, wide receiver corps is as or more talented.
Yes.
I think they're more talented. I do. Like I'm talking about as a whole. As a whole, I know Court's been on that. I think that's in her bio. I'm pretty sure like hashtag best for Heisman is in her bio. So that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, Nurse Court. I mean, shoot, have another LSU player win the Heisman in the last 3 years. Like, I mean, come on, that'd be awesome. That just goes to show how much LSU football has been doing these in this last century. But yeah, I think as a whole, Reagan, I think they're better. Now, I think Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, I think, they probably edge those guys. But, I mean, again, as a whole, I think this class, this team of wide receivers gets the nod.
Bro.
Wide receiver you.
I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, honestly.
No.
Like, since 2000, you've had more receivers drafted than anybody. And right now, you're sitting with 6 guys that could start on any SEC. These 6 guys could start anywhere in the country. Anywhere. Some of them would be your number 1 guy. Malik Neighbors would be the number 1 guy somewhere.
Yes.
Without question. I
agree.
Jack Besh would probably be easily the number 1 guy at Vanderbilt had he gone to Vanderbilt.
Oh, let's period. He would be number 1, period.
I mean, it could be an interesting few years. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I do not want to get my hopes up and think, man, we're about to win a national title, but the talent's there, guys. I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. The talent is there. I mean, if your quarterback play can back up what you have in the running back core and the receiving core, and your offensive line can protect, holy cow. I mean, holy freaking cow. You are stacked. And this is why Brian Kelly came to LSU.
We don't need to get him on another rant. We got to end the show. We're a little over. So, hey, guys, been a really fun show. We're glad to be able to get Reagan here, at least for the last few minutes, to get his take on the spring game, to get his take on the most jaw-dropping moment in his LSU history. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to wrap up the show. All right.
Make sure you go follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Tigers Avenue, for daily updates on the show and all things LSU sports. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to click off and hit that subscribe button at Tigers Avenue. We broadcast all of our shows live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining us. As always, we appreciate y'all very much. Be sure to hit that like button. If I see 11 people watching, hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. It would be much appreciated. If you have not subscribed, as you saw on our ad, please do so. Please go and subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media accounts. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm excited for this weekend, guys. I cannot wait to get to go watch LSU baseball team play on Friday night and get to meet a lot of you people. And I'm excited about the spring game, definitely. And again, getting to meet y'all, get to hang out. Y'all hit me up, hit me in my DMs on Twitter, or on the Tigers Avenue, or my personal, or on Instagram, wherever. Looking forward to it, guys. We might be doing a giveaway during the middle of the week. I'm not sure on that yet. I do have an extra ticket to the Missouri game. It'd be really awesome to get to have one of y'all join me and watch the game with me. So be looking for that, and we will see you next time in the Tigers Avenue. Peace, guys.
Who that 5-star? Who that 5-star? And the LSU Tigers, LSU Tigers.